someone who's worked as a quarterback and a receiver, what are the most important things for the true freshman to do if they want to contribute in their first year as wide receiver?
The main thing is people think at receiver is just about running a route, catching the ball, getting open. But really it's about knowing what the starting quarterback is thinking. You know what I mean? Like you go out there and you see a certain coverage, and it's like, if I know that it's like cover 3, it gives me an advantage as a receiver. But if I don't, then I'm just going out there and oh man, I didn't get the ball on this play. But sometimes, like me, I know every single time who's getting the ball, when they're getting the ball, especially when we're doing the RPO and stuff like that. But it's just an advantage just to know what coverage you're going up against, and just studying who you're going up against. But in the slot, it's kind of different because you usually get like a nickel and you get like a safety over you and stuff like that. So it's really just an advantage to know what the quarterback is thinking, you know what I mean? So you really should think as a quarterback as a receiver rather than just getting open and catching the ball and running a certain route.
What sort of advantages do you think you have as a former quarterback? Moving to the receiver position. What are you drawing?
Knowing what Peyton is thinking every single time. I know what he's thinking every single time. And I know it's kind of weird because I know when I'm about to get the ball, but I know when I'm not about to get the ball too. So I think that's my main advantage, just knowing if there's going to be a nickel fire, like a blitz or anything like that, or when it's man and I'm in the slot and I got that big boy fade, I know it's coming to me. And it's kind of weird just because I started to get nervous, like when I'm about to get the ball, but I think that's the main advantage for me, just knowing what Peyton is thinking at all times. And that's my best friend too, and I stay with him, so we kind of just have like a certain connection. But
does that help the fact that you guys have known each other for years?
It definitely does. I mean, it does for sure. I just think that main advantage, man, like it's crazy. Like I wish you can be inside my mind, but like even when I'm off the field, I just know what Peyton's about to go with the ball, just the coverage and the leverage that the defense is having on us and stuff like that. So it's just knowing Peyton, it definitely helps for sure.
Have you seen him grow, being back in an offense that you guys grew up playing?
Yeah.
Has that been a big deal?
It's been a big deal for sure. I mean, like last year you seen Peyton, and that it wasn't Peyton. Like you go back to 2021, that's how Peyton is playing now, and he's just playing. It's just up there. But I think the main thing was the receiver room. Like we didn't have a lot of juice in the room, but now we got those guys, and now you see Peyton kind of flourishing. Like you need guys around you. It's not like basketball. We can go and score 50. It's like a quarterback, which is one of the hardest positions in football, probably in the world, probably the hardest job in the world, to be honest. It's just like with a guy like Peyton, his cerebral part of it overrides all of the talent. Like, don't get me wrong, he's very talented. But Peyton knows where he's going with the ball. And it's like, if you don't have receivers that know, I need to get open on this play, it's an RPO, I need to run my fade and get my eyes back, Peyton is like, it makes the quarterback second guess. But now that you have guys like Cam, you got guys like Dre, you got guys like Rob, who know what it is, you know what I mean, who know that part of the game, it's easier for Peyton to get the ball there. Because Peyton knows where he's going with the ball every single time. But that's why, as a receiver, you need to know what Peyton's thinking. So you know I'm about to get this ball, or you know what coverage it is. So I need to run this route like this, or I need the tempo of it and stuff like that.
Rob, Lewis, they all deserve the glory because it's a new receiver core this year, and I feel like that's going to help me this year because they ain't going to be able to bracket, put safety over top of nothing because our receivers going to go out there and play and make plays. So it's going to be good.
What have you really focused on trying to get better at Rivaldo in the last 6 months?
In the last 6 months, I really focused on getting my body right. I kind of toned up a little bit. I've been grinding this off season, focused on making sure I'm in shape, having better stamina and stuff like that, so I can go out there and play every play and not want to come out the field because my team needs me out there. And also, I've been focusing on catching better. Like I've been on the jugs every day. Catch 200 balls a day. Also blocking. My coach Ben, he been really helping us with that and indie drills, just doing all the blocking stuff and working on better hand placement and stuff like that.
How have you seen Connor Lew evolve as a leader for that offensive line, kind of leading that front five?
Oh yeah, Connor Lew, he was a freshman. When he came in with me, he was a freshman. He was kind of smaller, but he really bulked up and got bigger and got better. But Connor Lew was a great center for us. He's a great leader. he's the smartest lineman out there, so he's a good person to have in the center of your offense to control the checks and ID the mic and stuff like that. But Connor, he's gonna be great for us this year.
There were so many new players last year vying for starting spots. It feels like you have a lot more holdovers. You're one of those guys who were new to the team last year. Now you have a year under your belt. What feels different about this fall versus last fall, your first one?
This fall, our offense is clicking way better than last fall. Last fall, we kind of had a couple people around that didn't really know the plays with it, but this summer, our offense, like we really went to work and we really came together as an offense and put the work in and come out here this fall and just clicking right away since day one. And obviously, our receivers are way better now. That's going to help our team and just Peyton, he's really comfortable back there. Everybody knows what's going on. We got Coach Nix coming in, but Coach Freeze and his offense. Peyton knows everything that's going on. So when he knows what's going on, he's more comfortable. Know the right checks, know the right reads to make, and yeah, our offense is going to be something to look out for this year.
What would you say the secondary's biggest strength is through the first few days of camp?
Our D-line. Mean nasty environment. You gotta have a great D-line. So we got a lot of guys. We don't the same D-line. We don't know who's gonna start. We got a lot of guys who can play. So we're still trying to figure out who the guys are gonna be.
How much more improved have you seen the freshman receivers? I know obviously a guy like Cam was there in the spring, but now you bring in Perry and others. How much more dynamic, how much more difficult is it to cover them in the back end?
Yeah, knowing that Cam's he's gonna be a guy, but now they have more guys like Dre, Perry coming in. That now we know the ball's gonna be spread around more. Now we gotta adjust our defense a little more. Yeah, they got weapons. They're more weapons now that they can throw the ball to. So we're just competing every day. We're trying to be good on good and get better.
Jay, tell me about your recruitment out of high school.
Oklahoma games going to be kind of more for you.
Excuse me?
I said, does that mean the Oklahoma game is going to kind of be more for you?
I mean, I got some OU, but that's another game.
Was it tough to leave Texas? I mean, it sounded like the Longhorns meant something.
Yeah, they did. It was tough, but it was the decision I made that was going to set me up down the road.
Why did you choose Auburn? What stood out about Auburn?
First of all, Coach Kelly, Auburn's known for his defense, and I just feel like I can come here and help guys.
Where does Blake come from to the childhood?
Yeah, when I was born, my dad he just called me his little love bug.
Curious, have you talked with any of the former Auburn DBs that, went up have you talked with any of them?
I mean, I talked to Simp when I first got here because he was still around. He just chopped it up around. Nothing too much. He was just asking me why I wasn't out with the ones at the time. But yeah, just a short little conversation, introducing each other because I didn't know of him before I came.
Yeah, I mean, Simpler's obviously a guy that, loved being a defensive back at Auburn. I mean, did any of them tell you kind of like, what it means, or like, have you picked up?
Oh yeah, I've been here long enough to understand what the standard is. And I'm a guy in the role where I have to show guys the standard, so most definitely.
Who do you look up to as a safety? I mean, like, are there professional players or guys kind of model your game after?
Like I said earlier, the safety position is unique. I don't feel like there's no safety who's exactly like another safety. Every safety has its own style, own strengths, own weaknesses. So I don't feel like I play like anybody. I feel like I play like myself. I like safeties. I like safeties who come down here and contact. I just like smart safeties. But I don't have a favorite safety.
Your running mate Keontae is moving back to corner after playing safety last year. How valuable is it for you to be able to have somebody with those reps in that position and a veteran in this program?
It's definitely valuable. Keontae, he's just another guy out there that, like I said, DB, you want when you're a DB, you want to be relaxed. You want to make everybody around you relaxed. Keontae is one of the guys who can talk to the young guys, hey, lock in, do this, next play. Like, just things like that he has experience, he has the leadership.
Does he lead?
Yeah, he sure.
There's a lot of East Texas guys playing in the SEC now. What is it about with Lufkin playing that grind of a schedule in that part of the country that hardens you guys and allows you to get ready to play at this level?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a sport that you love. And whoever wants it, you're going to go get it. So that's why we're in camp right now. We're working.
Kind of compared to what you like last year. I just feel like we're a whole lot more confident. Like everybody across the board, we got the pieces that receivers. Peyton's feeling a lot more confident.
I mean, I was just saying today, like he threw a ball today. I was like, oh my God, Peyton's so good. Like I just can't wait for y'all to see that side of him. And we're gonna have a lot of fun this year.
They just, whenever they see me do something, even if it's a good rep, they teach me the spring and everything.
Is it ball placement or is it confidence?
It's just confidence, like it's just confidence. Like I can just tell his mentality is just a whole lot different. Yeah, and I feel like just when Coach Reed's getting these guys in around him at receiver, I feel like that boosts his confidence as well. Helping them out. So sometimes nobody else thinking he's gonna throw it up. Somebody like Cam Coleman, somebody like Dre, like you feel me? So a lot of our guys are open most of the time. So you give them the time in the pocket.
Can that change the game for you guys? The running back room, having receivers that can go through holes. Does that make it more dynamic?
There was a lot of games last year.
I just remember going out there in the first drive
last year where teams were like 8 and 9 in the box, and after that they just thought they could man our receivers. And this year they're not gonna be able to do that.
A lot of Auburn fans there.
Jeremiah was in here yesterday talking about the offensive line and how he thought that those guys are going to be running the ball. Especially down. It's got to be pretty good for a guy like you. That's how you like to run.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually about to go up there and watch some film right now, but those guys are physical up front. Probably the best I've seen the best he's seen in a while too. So the run game will be very good, and they're good at pass too. It's always needs to work on, but I think we got a pretty good lineup.
Talk to me about the number change. What went into that? Why you wanted to pull the trigger on it?
I just wanted to change it. I don't know. I just wanted to change my number. And I always wanted single digits, so 0. I don't know. It's just hard, but I was like, that looked pretty tough. Let me get it.
Everyone said that you've kind of grabbed a hold of that unit. How has that maturity process been for you?
It's been good. I think I really started taking control of it when we got back in January. Obviously, getting onto the culture council was big for me, seeing how some of the older guys lead, helping me take that next step forward was also huge. I had the whole summer to practice it with team runs, lifts, kind of when we were in smaller groups, and now that we're out there for fall camp as offense, defense, team, I've been able to apply it out there as well.
Do you feel an extra amount of pressure to be a leader, especially as the center, because you got to kind of get everything going up there on the offensive line?
I would say as much as you would expect. Obviously, there is pressure being a leader on the team, but I look at it as a privilege. With pressure comes great responsibility, and I've just been taking advantage of that every day.
What's the biggest change for you from year 1 to year 2? Like, what have you improved the most on?
I'd say just, I guess if I had to sum it up, being comfortable, but not in a complacent way. I'm not complacent about it or anything. Just I kind of know what's expected now. On every play, what's expected from me on and off the field. What's expected, like to help make up the standards. So that's making something off the field. So I think just knowing what it's like going through a full football season at the college level, that's all helped me kind of slow the game down. And just really helped me in all aspects.
Knowing that there's still 3 weeks to go till you play a game and depth chart positions can change, but that first unit right now, I guess you're assessment of the other guys on the line. You got real size, both tackles. What do you see?
I mean, really everybody, obviously there's still time for some things to switch up, but everybody's kind of finding their spot right now. Just kind of finding like how they gel in, if that makes sense. So I think it's going well.
Peyton's back for another year. Is that helpful in your growth as a center to have the same starting quarterback back from the end of last season and a guy who's been able to go through the full offseason as QB1?
Yeah, that's huge because coming off the offseason, we have a chance to talk film, talk football, what he sees, get a chance to see everything from his perspective. So as we get into things like fall camp and going into the season, now we've had that whole offseason to prepare together. And I think that really just gets not only myself, but the offensive line and all the skilled players and all the pieces. They have a chance to already have a step ahead because they already have that bond together.
What kind of difference do you see in Peyton now that it's year 2 and he's much more familiar with everything?
Obviously, he stepped up as a leader. Not that he wasn't a leader last year, but like now you can just tell he knows it's all on him. He drives this offense, and I think he's done a good job of just embracing that. So that's the biggest thing I've seen from him.
You mentioned being on the leadership council, and there's some guys on that council that have been at Auburn for 4 or 5 or 6 years, and they've had that roller coaster ride of ups and downs. How important is it to send those guys out with a triumphant final season at Auburn?
Yeah, those are like the true Auburn men that we look at as Auburn men, and just seeing the sacrifices that they've put in, going over 2 years, and I'm not even through my second year, but they've been here 4, 5, so 6 years. You can't do anything but respect what they've sacrificed and what kind of work they've put through it. So you want to send them off with the best season possible for sure.
The offense was frustrating at times last year. Where would you say, through a few fall camps, that you guys have made the greatest improvement on the offensive side of the ball?
Just some things have changed now that Coach Freeze and Coach Nix are calling plays together and stuff like that. So there's been a little bit of change. But for the most part, I know from the offensive line perspective, inside zone is still inside zone. So keep going back to it, the expectations are pretty much the same in our room, and I know in a lot of other rooms. So just we're already a step ahead in that we know what's expected from us, and we've been attacking since before fall camp.
How much fun has it been to watch the freshman receivers go up and make plays?
Oh my gosh, it's awesome. I probably sound like a broken record here, but as an offensive lineman, I know for sure it makes our job a lot easier. All we have to do is protect, and sometimes we got to protect for 3 seconds, and there's somebody down the field, and they're wide open, and it's awesome. So it definitely makes our life a lot easier.
You're a grown man on the D-line in this league, How were you able to come in and make that jump from high school to playing as a true freshman against 22-year-olds?
I think the biggest thing for me was just preparation. Coach Thorne did a good job. I mean, not just Coach Thorne, but everybody in that room did a good job helping me prepare and showing me what it's like to prepare at the college level. I had mentors like Cam Stutz, Avery Jones, Gunnar Britton. All of them kind of showed me what it was like, how you're supposed to prepare, how you're supposed to go through a practice, how you're supposed to go through a lift, how you're supposed to do everything. And for me, I just kind of soaked that up like a sponge and applied it as fast as I could.
Connor, who on the defensive line has been tough?
I say the 2 people that I go against the most right now that have been giving me some problems are definitely Jason Jones and Isaiah Rakes. With the new addition, I think he's going to be really good for us.